How are you developers? I hope you are fine. In our journey through the realm of web development, we have already laid down the foundations with semantic tags, understanding nesting, and incorporating images in website. We also learned about void elements. And today, we are about to extend our knowledge by diving into the world of HTML links. In the vast landscape of the internet, links are the bridges that connect one web page to another. They are the navigational pathways allowing users to seamlessly travel between different sections of a website or hop from one site to another. Imagine links as the interactive threads knitting the diverse tapestry of the World Wide Web. In HTML, links are created using the anchor element. This element comes with two essential attributes, that is the href and the target. The href attributes determine the destination of the link, whether it's another web page, an image, a document, or a resource on the internet. Meanwhile, the target specifies where the link should be opened. Now that we have the basic introduction about links, let us now dive into our Visual Studio Code and write some HTML code to see how links are in practice. If you have been following this course, you know that we have a repository that contains all the notes that we'll be using in this course. So if you open your VS Code and you don't have these 03 links, you can just go to that repository as we did yesterday. You go to the repository, then click on the sync fork button. Once you click that button, you can click on the update repository button and your repository will be updated. Once you have updated the repository on the GitHub, you can come on your VS Code and just use the git pull command to pull your changes to your local machine. Now that everyone has the notes, you can just start today's class. Now that you know what links are and we know about the anchor tag, let us now create a HTML file and see how the anchor tag works. So if you want to create an HTML file, you can just create it inside the links folder by right-clicking the links folder, then select a new file, then call your file index.html and then hit on enter. When you do so, you'll see a new HTML file created. I'll put my notes and my file side by side by clicking on this split screen button. Then I'll drag my notes to the right hand side of the screen. So I'll be writing my code on the left side and referring to the notes on the right side. Before I write the anchor tag, let us remind ourselves how an element is written. We said in the previous class that an element has an opening tag. For example, let us use the P as an example, the paragraph tag. It has an opening tag and a closing tag and some text in between. The anchor tag is also written in a similar manner. Anchor tag is an A tag with an opening tag and a closing tag, then with some text inside the tags. So let us delete this. That is how an anchor tag is written. So let us save our code and see it in the browser. Save my code and see it in the browser. When you go to the browser, you'll see your text written there. In my case, it's written some text. But when you hover on the text, the hand icon does not appear. We saw in the notes that when you hover on a link, there should appear a hand icon to indicate that the link is clickable. So in our case, the hand icon does not appear, and that is because we did not add the href attribute in the anchor tag. As we said before, an href attribute indicates where the link should take you to. So let us go back to our code and add the href attribute and come back to the browser and see the changes that will have been made. Just a recap, when you're talking about attributes, you say that attribute should be placed in the opening tag of any element. So if you want to add the href attribute, we will add it in the opening tag of the anchor element. So let us come to the anchor element here and add the href attribute. Then inside the href attribute, you can put the URL where you want your link to take you to. In my case, I'll put the Janja Programmers URL. Let me Alt-Z and soft wrap so that you can see it. So when I click on this link, let me update the text and say click to, say go to JP website. Let me save it. So when someone clicks on this link, it will take them to the URL that I provided here, and this case is the Janja Programmer's URL. So now let us go to the browser and see how that happens. When we go to our browser, we will see our text that we written in our code go to JP website. But now the text is blue in color and it is underlined. And also when you hover on it, you can see the hand icon that you are talking about. So this hand icon indicates that the link is clickable. But before we click the link, let us talk about the various states that a link can be in. The first state a link that is in is called the unvisited state. And this is the current state that our link is in. It is in the unvisited state. And our link is in unvisited state if it is blue in color and underlined. We can always change the styles using CSS, but currently we are just learning on HTML. So by default, a link is blue in color and underlined if it is unvisited. The next state is the active state. So when you click this link, it will appear red, but you have to be keen because it appears red for a short time. So when I click on it, you'll see it's red, it appears red, then it opens the Janja Programmer's website. And that is how links work. When you click a link, it takes you to the URL that you specified in the href element. So let us go back and see the other state. The other state is the visited state. So when a link is visited, it appears purple in color. I don't know if you can see the difference. Now the link is purple. It was blue and now is purple. Purple indicates that the link has already been clicked or the link is already visited. It is in the visited state. The next thing you're going to learn today is the target attribute. But before we learn the target attribute, let me give you a small task. The task will be create a link to link to the Facebook website. I'll give you 1 minute to do the task. Okay, I hope by now you have already done. If you have not yet done, just pause the video and do it. Then after you have done the task, you can play the video and see the answer. So, to create a link that will take you to Facebook, first you create the anchor tag. Then you write your desired text. For example, let's say go to Facebook. Then inside the opening tag of the anchor element, you can put your href there and put the Facebook URL, that is facebook.com. If we save and go to the browser, we'll see the Facebook link, and when you click on that link, it will take you to facebook.com. So now let's go to the browser and see it in action. When you go to the browser, you'll see our 2 links there. The first link is the link to the Janja Programmer's website. The other link is the link to Facebook. I think now you can see the difference between a visited link and an unvisited link. You can see the Facebook link is blue in color because you have not yet clicked on it. But the Janja Programmer's link is purple in color because you already clicked on it. You can see the difference between the blue and the purple. So now let us click on this link and see it take us to Facebook. When you click on the link, it will take you to Facebook. Sorry, there's an error. I think you forgot the HTTPS before the link. So let us go and put the HTTPS in our VS Code. So when you go back to VS Code and add this line here before the www, there should be this one, the HTTPS, so that it can take you to facebook.com. So if you add this, then save your code and go back to the browser and click the link, it will take you to facebook.com. So now let us see it in action. When you go to your browser and click on the Facebook link, it will take you to facebook.com. This is our Facebook page, Janja Programmer's page. You can just follow it. Yeah, now that you know about the href, let us now learn about the target attribute. As we said in the introduction, that the target attribute specifies where to open the linked document. You can see when you click our link before, it was opening in the same page. But if you want to change that, you can use the target attribute and change where the linked document will open. So the target attribute can have 4 values. The first value is self, the other value is blank, the other one is parent, and the last one is top. But in this class, we learn about the self and the blank values. We'll learn about the parent and the top values when we learn about the iframes. But now that we don't know about iframes, let's just learn about the self and the blank. So when you go to your browser, you'll realize that we added the self attribute to the Facebook link. So when you click on Facebook, it still has the same behavior because the self value is the default value for the target element, and the self value opens the linked document in the same tab or the same window that you are in. You can see in the notes that the self is the default value, and it opens the document in the same window or tab it was clicked. So it just opened in the same tab. But if you want it to open a different tab, you can use the blank value, because you can see that the blank value opens the document in a new window or tab. So let us change our value from self to blank and see the difference. Blank. Let us save and go to the browser. Now you can see we are on this tab, and when you click our Facebook link, it will open a new tab next to our tab. There's a new tab that is opened, and it's the tab that has opened Facebook. So you have seen the difference between the self and the blank. Self opens in the same tab, and the blank opens in a new tab, and that is the difference between the self value and the blank value of the target attribute. Also, the anchor tag has an attribute called the title attribute, and the title attribute specifies extra information about an element. It is mostly shown as a tooltip when someone hovers on the text using the mouse. So let us see how the title attribute works. So in our Facebook, we can just add the title there and say go to Facebook. Then you can change the text, or you can just leave it the same. It has no effect. So let us now save it and go to our browser and see it in action. When you go to your browser and hover on the Facebook link, you'll notice that there's a small tooltip there saying go to Facebook. Let me zoom it in so that you can see it clearly. When you hover on it, you'll see this text here saying go to Facebook. And that text is there because we added the title attribute. I think that it's very clear. So now that you know about the title attribute, let us now go to our notes and see that in the introduction of the notes, you can see that a link does not have to be a text. A link can be an image or any other HTML element. Now let us learn how to convert any HTML element, including images, and turn them into links. If you remember the nesting class, that is what will apply here greatly. So let me give you as a task. I can give you the tasks. Task 1 is to create an image element, then nest it inside an anchor tag. This is the anchor element. So that is your task. You can just pause the video and do it. I'll give you some 30 seconds to do the task. Then I'll play the video and do it myself. So to create an image element, we said that image elements are just void elements. That means they don't have closing tags. So you just create an image element, then you put the source attribute that we learned about in the images. Then here you can provide any image. I'll just use an image online. Let me go and get the link of that image. So I took an address of an image that is online, and I will paste it in my source. So that is an online image that I put there. So after putting the image, I can surround my image in the anchor tag. So I can just put an anchor element here and say that when someone clicks on this image, it should take them to janjaprogrammers.com. So I'll copy this link of Janja Programmers and paste it here in my href. You see I have a little typo, I put the double. So now I have my link and my image. So to make this image a link, I have to nest the image inside the anchor tag. So I'll just put my image inside this anchor tag here, like that. So once I nest my image inside my anchor tag, this image will now become a link. And that happens to all HTML elements. If you want to turn any element into a link, you just nest that element inside the anchor tag and that element will turn into a link. Let us go to our browser and see it in action. When you go to your browser, you'll see the image. Although it's too big, we can adjust it using the height and the image attributes that we learned before. But really learning about links, I'll just leave it like that. When you go to your browser, you'll see the image that you put there. Mine, I put this cat image. And when you click on this image, you can see first when you hover on it, the hand icon appears, indicating that this image is a link. You can see the difference when I put it outside the image and when it's in the image. So it indicates that this image is a link. And when I click on that image, it will open janjaprogrammers.com because that is the specified URL that I put in the href attribute. And that is how you turn an image into a link. The last thing that we learned today is to link to an email address. So first let us comment out this image to create some space. Let us comment this image out. So if you want to link to an email address, you can add the mail to inside the href of your anchor tag. So let's create a new anchor tag, and inside the href we'll add the mail to, then colon, then you put the email of the person that you want to send the email to. For example, I'll say test@gmail.com. Then as usual, here in the content you can just write anything. I'll just write send email. Let us now save it and see it in the browser how it works. So when you open your browser, you will see the send email link, and when you click on this email, your default emailing app will now open. So that is how you link to an email address. I'll just close it because I don't want to send anybody an email. But that is how mail to works when you add the mail to the href attribute. I think that was what was supposed to be taught today. And happy coding. Peace out.